Look at the fucking border. Yeah, I mean, uh that's the whole
No
border.
one can look at the border. You can't, man. They banned all
Uh,
press from looking at the border, so
So where did
there
those
ain't a
leak
border crisis.
those leaked videos or images came out, right? And like
yeah.
showed a bunch of
Yeah.
people.
And you know who those photos were released by? A Democratic congressman from Texas.
Oh, yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He's the one that released the photos.
Huh. So is that my initial reaction to that is to take that as his call for help of saying this is a severe crisis. This
Yeah.
isn't a
Right.
challenge or a circumstance that you fuckers keep saying it is. Like,
Yeah. Jen, who's the was it press secretary? Is that who she is? Jen
Yeah,
Psaki?
Jen Psaki, yeah.
Sack.
She's
I think it's
sassy.
a silent P. Saki, right?
Like Saki?
sure.
Saki?
Yeah.
Saki?
She said children presenting at our border who are fleeing violence, who are fleeing prosecution, who are fleeing terrible situations is not a crisis. How's that not a crisis? They're trying to get out of shitty situations, man.
Well, and it's the numbers of everything are on track, if they haven't already, to surpass Trump's worst border
Right.
year in 2019. It was like in May, I think, of 2019, and like we're already in Biden's presidency flying past the
Did you see
number
what
of people
Biden said
detained.
about it?
No.
They literally said yesterday during his press conference, the reason so many people are coming over the border is because Biden's a nice guy.
Oh, I
no,
did
no,
see
no.
that. I did see that.
No, but he didn't say he was a nice guy. He said that the perception is that he's a nice
Right.
guy. He's like, I'd like to
Right.
think that it's because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah,
But
he's
he's like,
no
there
one
was a
came
lot of
under
people-
Trump because he was mean.
He was like, there was a lot of people coming across the border when Trump was president, but that's not because he was a nice guy.
God, I mean,
So, but I do think that there's truth in what he's saying, and the fact that yes, people were coming across the border because of the terrible shit that they're running from, whether that be
Right.
in Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador.
so Trump's policies, I think, hurt the situation as well. Like it may have took away the incentive for entire families to try to come over, but it incentivizes parents to bring their children like close enough to the border and then just send the children alone to try to cross the border, because at that point the what is it, health and I forget the HHS.
Right.
I forget what that stands for, but anyway, so they would have to take the kids then and have to deal with them and put them into the system, if you will. So yeah, I mean, like that didn't help. And then Trump saying that people would get asylum in Mexico. I'm like, you can't. That's kind of fucked up. It's like, yeah, come as much as you want and you can hang out in Mexico.
Yeah, that's like Canada telling Mexicans, like, hey, you want to come to Canada? Sure thing, you'll get asylum in the United States. You think the United States is going to let that pass? You can just chill out in the land of the free, home of the brave. Wow, you wait to get across the border.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. I wouldn't even begin to understand what it takes to become a citizen somewhere else. Like, I read stories about it, like people taking 10, 15 years
Yeah.
to become an American citizen. So, like, dude, when you think of that time period, and then maybe not even like how the political climate changes every 4 years in this country, no wonder they're deciding to come over illegally, you know?
Yeah.
So
like, go ahead.
So what did you guys? What do you think about the border crisis? Like I'm calling it a crisis. It's a fucking crisis. And what do you think about Biden's response to it?
My current president tells me it's a circumstance. So
it's a fucking
challenge.
crisis. You can't be past the numbers of its worst year, and it was a crisis then, and it's not now. Like the double standard there is so outrageously apparent that it's infuriating to
Right.
like, come on, man. Like, you can't
Come on, man.
come on, man. Are you a fucking idiot? You can't say it's a crisis with less numbers in May 2019 or in sometime in 2019, and then now you have more numbers, and it's just a circumstance. It's just a challenge. It's so
Right,
fucked
right.
up. So I mean,
Even how the media is handling it, you know, like finally they're starting to come out and really start reporting on this, man. But when it first started happening, it was just silence. It was
Yeah,
silence.
what's baffling to me is that they're blocking the media from being able to get any coverage
Right.
on this. That is an infringement on the First Amendment, man. That is messing with the freedom of the press. That's some scary shit. One, they're starting to come back after the guns, and now they're going after
Right.
freedom of press, not allowing people. I mean, because it's both sides that are trying to get to the border. It's not just the conservatives that are trying to get over
Right.
there and report on it. The liberals are trying to do the same thing.
yeah.
You know, and they're blocking both sides from
Everybody.
being able to report on it. It's crazy. And the fact that
Dude.
you have Democratic congressmen and women working on this border, trying to get help, putting out these photos. I mean, some of them have already said that they're not going to seek re-election because of how just detrimental this thing has been to their district. That's, yeah, I you know, there definitely needs to be something done. I get it. Like, you put into place a program for it to be easier for people to have asylum in Mexico while you're trying to figure out things or whatever, and Trump comes in and screws it up. But you can't keep blaming everything on Trump. You gotta put for you've got to do some of the work yourself. You knew going into it that some of that shit was going to happen. It's now on you. You have to fix it. You have to find you have to solve the problem. Nobody wants a president that's going to continue to make excuses because the other side is bitching and complaining.